what is success for you?
That's a hard question, but a really good one. I'm a big believer in the psychologist Erikson's stages of development. He talked about these different stages of development, that at every age we're working through some fundamental conflict, and if we can resolve that conflict, that then we can advance to the next stage. And the ages are somewhat plastic because of changes in culture and life. But I remember I started off as a developmental neurobiologist, and development doesn't end at 25. Your whole life is one big developmental arc. And so I'm 46 now, and I try and think, okay, what have I managed to accomplish? And then what's my work? What do I need to do? For instance, I don't know much about spirituality at all. I intend on learning. I didn't grow up in a particularly religious family. I don't even know that my goal is to set out to do that. But I feel like at this stage of life, according to Erikson, if you've resolved a career, you've resolved relationships to some extent, you've resolved your relationship to yourself to some extent, and that's an ongoing process. What's the next thing that we face? We face, according to him, to try and understand how our short lifespan, relatively speaking, fits into a larger and more coherent whole. And so that's the work I'm doing. So I look at life as success to me is looking at life as a series of developmental milestones, and making sure that if I didn't hit any milestones in the past for whatever reason, that I take responsibility for meeting those milestones. And looking forward and where I'm at now, I just try and say, well, what are the milestones that I should be working on now, so that I find myself at 50 and 60 and 70, hopefully beyond that, having, checked off the boxes that make for a full life. And that's really where it's at. And I think that it's hard to go back and take care of things of past. We can't be super performers at everything, so that's not what it's about. But I really believe, I think that Erikson was quite correct in understanding that our nervous system changes over time, and that we need to meet these milestones. Nothing bothers me more than regressive behavior. I see a lot of that in the world now, adults acting like children, just kind of regressive reactivity. Even just the little exercise that we did a moment ago of trying to raise stress threshold, I feel like adults need it just as much, and maybe even more than children, because I think we've become like collectively regressed. And that includes me. I'm no better than anyone else. I just try and put the work in to try and resolve these milestones. So that's where I'm at lately in terms of what I see as successful.